Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me again. You know, I was in two minds whether I was going to do another video today, actually, but I was sent something very, very, very alarming about Tommy Robinson, and it needs sharing. His treatment at the hands of, well, the government, really, let's face it, is nothing short of deplorable, and it's verging on inhumane treatment. Now, no matter what you think of the guy, there's a large portion of people that hate him. There's a large portion of people that actually quite like him, and he's got a very big support network. In any event, what's happening to him is very, very, very wrong, and we've all got to see that. Now, to set the scene, he turned up in court, as we know, pleaded guilty to the contempt charges which were levied against him, and he was sentenced to 18 months in prison. And all that time, he's been in solitary confinement. Now, being in solitary confinement for his own protection doesn't really wash anymore, considering what's going on, and we'll come to that in a moment. But just to go through it, I want to set the scene and talk a little bit about the contempt of court side of things. Now, have a look at this. Contempt of court can be civil or criminal, and both are subject to the criminal standard of proof. The distinction between civil and criminal is largely historical and has been questioned. Now, you can see under civil contempt, disobeying a court order, such as a restraining order, which is what Tommy's done, or been convicted of at the end of the day, assisting a breach of a court order. And under criminal contempt, you've got a list of things there, but one of which is insulting or interrupting the court. Now, the fact he played the film and he was ordered not to, does that mean he's been interpreted as insulting the court, I wonder? I do not know. But the whole point of the matter is the sentence you can either get, and I'll read this here, the maximum penalty for criminal contempt is 2 years in prison, in addition to a fine, or you can, you know, one or the other. That's criminal contempt. Now, he's in a prison he shouldn't be in. He's being treated abhorrently for someone that's done what he's in for compared with other people, and he should either be in a far lower category prison away from people who are going to do him harm, or even better still, he should be at home, maybe under curfew or something like that. But being thrown into jail, into solitary, having visits, well, pretty much stopped, having your food supply interrupted, no human company or interaction apart from your own four walls and a couple of hours a day walking around the yard, eventually is going to take its toll. And who in the hell is authorizing and allowing all this to happen? Now, here's for the alarming part. It's the update that we've been provided with, and this is off of his social media account on X. Important update on Tommy's situation. Please share this everywhere. And I want to read this to you. It really is horrific. UK state torture. Tommy Robinson has suffered 128 days so far in solitary confinement at HMP Woodhill, 22 hours a day locked in a cell, facing an 18-month sentence for a non-crime of showing the public a documentary he was banned from showing. Now, you look back on that section I read you about contempt of court, you can see specifically the distinguishment between the two and what should have happened. His legal team have appointed an independent clinical psychologist with a doctorate and 15 plus years in NHS forensic mental health to assess him, and they deliver a damning report. This is mental torture. Assessing him with ADHD, and believe me, I've had some experience recently with that, not me personally, but I can tell you. Complex PTSD, solitary confinement is directly related to the reactivation of past CPTSD due to a similar environment. He has difficulties coping, exasperated by his ADHD, and he's deteriorating. I've lost my head, he says. Dark dreams and cold sweats jolt me awake at 3 a.m. I can't sleep. I'm paranoid, helpless, and continually panic about my kids. His legal team has launched an emergency court challenge due to deterioration in mental health, highlighting multiple human rights violations. It is totally and utterly unacceptable. Threshold internationally, 15 days is a cutoff for when solitary confinement becomes cruel or inhumane. This is according to the United Nations Mandela Rules UN rapporteur. Beyond that, it's a sliding scale towards torture. Tommy's case at nearly 130 days with documented mental deterioration, it's well past this threshold. The psychologist's mental torture assessment tied to his specific vulnerabilities suggests it's already torture in effect, especially given the state-planned 18-month sentence. The report details a cluster of symptoms, what we've mentioned already. These are not mild or transient. They're debilitating, worsening, and rooted in his specific vulnerabilities. As the psychologist quote makes clear, these expert observations confirm severe symptoms escalating over time with a prognosis of lasting harm. This isn't punishment. It's a calculated breaking of a man who dared speak, proven by independent expert testimony. Sound the alarm. Please share. And that is directly from his Twitter account online as relayed by his team. Now, that is the most alarming thing I've ever read. And it's happening because I feel he is who he is. And, what he's exposing, what he's had a hand in exposing, has led him to the situation he's in now. They want him gone, I feel. And you look at the frustration of people like Paul Thorpe. He did a live on this last night, and he said, what the hell am I supposed to do now? All of his team, all of his friends are trying for him. Now, I just want to part something to you. They mentioned Mandela in that script I just read to you. Many years ago, I went to South Africa, Cape Town, off the coast of Cape Town. They've got a tiny island called Robben Island, and it contains the prison, which is no longer active, but it's where Nelson Mandela was kept for all those years. And I actually stood in his prison cell, and it was tiny, really, really tiny. And there was a small bed, effectively a piss pot in the corner, boiling hot, and a tiny window with bars on to look out of onto a courtyard. And you got this feeling of no hope, no salvation. And down the road from the prison, they had a setup from older times where it was outside, little cages, metal. I'll never forget it. I'll have to dig the pictures out sometime and show you. And again, torturous, horrible conditions out in the hot South African sunshine. And while it's different time periods, different comparisons, the point I'm trying to make is put yourself in that situation, or at least attempt to, with nothing but your own company all day long. It's enough to drive anybody crazy, but to have it happen twice, that's not the country I thought it was. And it is very, very, very wrong. Hope that updates everybody. We'll keep an eye on it, because I do believe that this needs publishing, getting out in the big wide world. Let me know what you think. Share this. Share his post on social media. It needs getting around everywhere. Hit the like button on this. Thank you for all your support as always. Until next time, I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.